Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Reforger video. Today, I'm doing something that's been popularly requested by a lot of you, and that is a settings video. Now, a little disclaimer, this is not your typical settings video. I'm not going to give you settings that are going to give you insane FPS boosts or anything like that, because it simply just does not really exist in this game. If I was going to do that, I'd just tell you to play on all low settings. I do have a few tips and tricks here and there, which, I'll go over later on in the video. But like I say, this is not like a meta Call of Duty type of video. This is very much what settings I actually play the game on every day. And yeah, that's kind of what this video is about. So just a warning, if you don't have the same PC as me, you're not going to get the same FPS as me. That's kind of just flat out how it is. But either way, let's get into the video. So as you see, we are here in game, and you might be wondering, why is there a heli crashed here? I'll roll the clip real quick. As you can see, I start flying over, I get lit the fuck up, do the craziest combat landing I've ever landed, jump out, and then rip the pilot out of the helicopter. This was insane. I was not ready for this today, but it is what it is. But there you go, he was dealt with. And now we can go and get into the video settings. Alright, so here we go. I play on borderless full screen. That is completely my preference. You can play on windowed if you want. It doesn't matter too much. 1440p, of course. Now this setting here, Fidelity FX Super Resolution, this can be like vital. If you're playing on like a lower end PC, if you turn this on, it works in a similar way to DLSS upscaling. So if you are on a lower end piece of hardware, definitely turn this on. Apollo used to use it on his old PC and it gave him a nice little FPS boost. Just makes the game run that little bit smoother. VSync off, always off. Just don't need it. It's more of a detriment than anything. Don't have an FPS limit on. Obviously if you're getting, if you want to keep at a certain FPS, put it on, but most of the time you just don't need that. Draw distance 2.5 kilometers. The only thing with this is you can set it to this. You can set it even higher if you wanted, but I think 700 meters is the cutoff for things actually appearing in your vision. So keep that in mind. There is a certain point where stuff just won't appear properly, and I think it's 700 meters, so you might not even need to go above like 1.2 kilometers, but I just leave it at that because it makes no effect for me. Oh, we have just had a Igla land on the helicopter, so we're going to run away from that. The timing of that is insane. The timing is insane. Yeah, as we can see, there's a lot going on in the distance there. Anyway, back to the settings. Depth of field, I have that off. Preference, again, don't like it. It blurs stuff out when you're aimed in, and it's a distraction. Don't like it. Use 2D scopes. I don't really know what this does. Just leave it off. I think it's preference again, whether you want it on or not. Use software cursor. If you do that, it's just going to look like a mouse. Doesn't matter. But the main meat and gravy here. Okay, post-processing anti-aliasing. I've got this off. Don't know what this does with it on. Not tried it. Depth of field quality none. Ambient occlusion medium. Screen space reflections high. Contact shadows yes. And then into the other bit, the quality bit here. So some background to why I have these settings. They are not intentional by any means. These are not perfect settings. These are not the settings that can give you the best FPS. I very much installed the game on my new PC. Played on all ultra. It was fine. It was good. However, there was some texture issues. Reinstalled the game, and I just didn't touch the settings after that. Left them how they are. That is my settings. But I have no hardware anti-aliasing. No foliage smoothing. Model geometric details high. Object draw distance is ultra. Terrain surface detail, that is on parallax and shadows. Terrain texture details high. Terrain texture filtering is high. And I want to say something about these ones. There is not much difference if you turn these up to the higher setting. You'll notice a little difference in FPS, but there's not much like graphical difference. I have checked this before. Same with grass quality. If you have the grass quality all the way up, it doesn't turning it down. If you turn it all the way down, it's going to give you an advantage in game, and it's a bit of a scummy move to do. But having it on medium or the highest one, it makes no graphical difference, and the only difference really is about I swear to God, it's about 10 FPS. It takes off so much FPS if you put it higher than that. So in my opinion, it's not worth having on. Grass draw distance is 175 meters. I think that's default. And obviously, the higher you have that, the less FPS you're going to get, because it's just going to be drawing grass from way further out, and it's going to chunk your PC. Shadow quality high, distant shadows high, render target format standard, and environment quality medium. So I got like a mix of some ultra, some high, and some medium settings. It isn't like anything special or anything to write home about. But, you know, my game looks fairly nice. Right now, it's a bit doom and gloomy. It's a bit grey. Isn't exactly the weather that I wanted, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't mind it. I'll take it. It is what it is. And then we will move on to some stuff, you know, that I kind of want to show you guys that is a bit different, that I play with. That's different. And it's in controls. We'll go, first of all, I think it's to weapon. Here we go. This one is huge. Low ready. So, for those of you that don't know, this is automatically assigned to shift. Now, when you... I'll reapply it and I'll show you how it works. So when I sprint, it keeps my gun low like this, right? I've done a TikTok on this before. So those of you might already know this. Like a few of you might know this, some of you might not. But it keeps your gun like low down like this. Obviously that gives you the advantage of moving faster. But then you got to press C to, you know, walk with your gun up. And as you can see, the difference in speed is like minimal. A lot of people were saying to me, oh, it gives you such an advantage, like a tactical advantage, because you can run quicker when you got your weapon down, this, that, and the third. But when you press C, there is not much of a speed difference, and your gun is up. So let me show you without it, because this one is quite a key factor to my like average gameplay, right? Like this is something I've used every day. You delete it, and then when you're running, bang, the weapon stays up, and there's not like a massive difference in like the speed. In my opinion, it's not a noticeable enough difference to want to turn it on and risk, you know, not being able to pull my gun up in time, because I have to run, press C, pull my gun up, and then shoot, when I could just run, pull my gun up, and shoot. It helps way more than you'd realize. But that's my one COD gamer tip. That's my one COD gamer tip right there. And then did I change anything else is the question. I think the one other thing I changed on this game is, where is it at? Switch weapon optics. Here we go. So I don't know what it's originally set to. I can't remember, but I switched it to left control and right click. It's just an armor 3 thing I'm used to. You might be used to the base set, and you might be used to whatever you're used to. That's what I like. I'm just used to that. I find it easier. That's a personal preference kind of thing. Another thing that I always love doing, and you know, a few of you might already know this. You might be used to this. Might be something that you do all the time. I hate having this on, like, I hate the scope being illuminated, right, like this, because you can't tell where you're aiming. Like, if I aim at that bush there, like, let's say that was a player, and I was aiming for his head, I can't necessarily tell exactly where the dot's at. When you turn it off, you can just see it perfectly. And for me, that button is middle click. I would recommend putting that on. And then, obviously, this scope comes default, like, black like this, but I like it to be illuminated, just because you can see a bit better, you know. Not much stuff on this game is red, but a lot of stuff can, you know, blend in with the black. So that's my preference. You might also like that, who knows. But yeah, that is the settings I use. It's nothing out of the park. It's nothing out of this world. I'm not teaching you how to like get 1 billion FPS more than you're getting, because I don't think it's possible. This game, you know, it has its limitations. Truthfully, it does have its limitations. And if you want incredibly good FPS, like if you're looking at mine right now, and then 170, 200 sometimes, I'd say I average about 140 at the minute on this map. Right now, there's barely, like, there's 40 players on the server, I think, so it's you know, it's not really full. Yeah, about 40 players on. So it's not the most demanding right now. But in terms of, like, if you want this FPS, the only way you're ever going to achieve it is if you upgrade your PC. If you have, like, a PC that can only run the game at 60 FPS, you're not going to run the game at 200 FPS just because you switch your settings, right? It's one of those. It is one of those. This game is not like the most wonderfully optimized, but it's definitely better than like Arma 3. Hopefully it gets the DayZ treatment and, you know, it becomes a very playable game in the future, but, you know, that we're a long way away from this game being finished. We're a long way away from Arma 4, so it's got a long path. Anyways, without waffling too much, I do hope that this video helped someone out there in some capacity. You know, maybe you learned from the low ready thing, whatever. Hopefully it helped you in some capacity. And, you know, for those of you commenting, asking for this video, I hope this is what you were looking for. Although I feel like it may not be, but it is what it is. As I always say, be sure to join the Discord. It's the best place to stay connected with us, to chat with us, to know when we're going live, to know when we post new videos, all that kind of stuff. It's the best place to be, and we have a great community in there, and it grows every day, which is amazing. So yeah, that'll be in the description. Also, depending when you're watching this, we might be live on Twitch, so make sure you check down in the description below to find our link to our Twitch channel. Come watch us live, come play with us, do all that good stuff. But without further ado, I do appreciate you all watching, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.